Okay, continuing on. Let's grab a circle. I'm going to make a kind of a darker than usual stroke there, and I don't need the fill shape inside of there. So let's make just something like this. Again, looks a little dark, but we're going to add a bevel to it, which should alleviate some of that. And I'm basically just going to be making rings that go up through here, and then we'll connect them together, kind of almost the opposite of what we did over here, where we started with the lines and then did the little rings underneath. We'll begin with the rings and work our way up. So to start this off, let's squish in one of the rings, okay? And maybe I'll begin a little bit lighter so you can see them a bit more clearly. And we're going to go sort of scientifically through here, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. So going to get rid of that, basically the bottom half of it, and we're going to try to keep this on top of that, right? Okay, so kind of almost an overhead angle of this. You can see a little bit of that, right? And then every time I duplicate this, I'm just copying and then pasting back in place again. I'm going to go over here to the height and set this up 5 more than it was before. So we had a height of 15, right? And then now it's going to be 20. And I'm going to, again, copy, paste it in place, try to nudge it up. And, when I nudge things up like that, I hold down the Shift key and then up and down with the arrow keys. So it boosts you up a little bit more than if you had done it without holding down Shift. And again, 25, so we'll keep going up here. Maybe move it up a little bit more. And 30. Oops. Well, apparently, if you leave that selected, you could numerically adjust the height. Okay, so keep going on up. And let me get a kind of a better idea of the entire table. What I might do is move this entire group up and then do a few more of these down here that a little less. Let's go 10. I think at a point, though, I wouldn't want to do any less than that. Okay. And I'm probably at about where I don't want to do any more on the height either. So I don't want to make them too angled. And maybe 35 is probably about enough. Okay, so let's do these one more, then we'll start to angle these. Okay, so again, I'm using scale and rotate. Just the hotkey. If you've forgotten where that is, though, go over to shape and transform, scale and rotate. And let's start by going just -5, and I'm keeping the scale at 100. So just hit OK on that, and it's going to start to arc it over that way some. And again, do the same thing. This time around, let's try -20. Probably about right. Do it one more time. Might actually set the rotation to 0 on that, just to make the scale a little bit higher up, because it looks like that end wasn't touching. And let's do it one more time. Let's try -20. Okay. And that is about right. I think what I would like to do, though, is select at least this one and this one, take the pivot down, and then just try arcing this over just a little bit, maybe moving it up some. Do the same thing over here. So again, making sure the pivot stays where it's at. Maybe do a little bit on this one. And you can kind of see what the effect would be if you really drastically did it. I just think we need to do it just a little bit. Okay. And once you've done that, go ahead and select all of them. Call these, I don't know, top rings or something like that. Let's put a bevel on. Doink. Already looking a little bit better. I think it would be nice, though, to tuck these underneath this part right here. So, for example, I'm just going to cut that off and then just select this. As soon as you select something, you're basically working on that layer. So then I can just paste that back in place again. And now it's going to look like those are kind of originating, hopefully from over there. And I don't really mind having the endpoint seen, but that is something you could maybe look into covering up as well. See, it doesn't look as good, I don't think. But I do think it looks nice having them kind of come from that point. And then let's try to just put in a drop shadow from just the original shape. Just going to angle that over there. Take it down. Blur it, of course. Let me set the quality to high. And yeah, in that case, I don't think we need to do a separate symbol altogether for the drop shadow. Looking good, I believe. I did want to make these a little bit darker though. So I'm going to set this back to that original stroke color I had. And yeah, I do think that looks nice. In fact, I might even try that with this as well and see how that looks. So let's step all the way back out. And not seeing a huge difference until you get to right here. And then I think it really looks nice. It almost does look like it's descending down a bit more at that point. And that's something we could do with our other rings. Yep, do like it. And then again, let's do the connection or the straight lines, connectors, whatever I think of them as, up here at the top. And I'm going to draw over top of them for right now, but I'm probably going to put them below ultimately. And let's try just two lines, and then we'll do something separate for the ones that curve over there, because I might want to adjust the angle of the beveling separate from this shape. So just hit F8 on what you got, and then let's just put that default bevel in. And then again, I'm going to put that down below. So I'm going to cut them off. Just going to get on the same layer as these guys, and then use the hotkey to arrange them below that, and see how that looks. The only issue is it almost appears a little bit too much like a bottom track, I guess. See, and that's because that shadowing is really far below. Let me try something. See, I was thinking something more like that in terms of the shadowing that would hit these guys. But let's see. Let's put the ball underneath there. So that's what I want to occur, is that the ball looks like it's underneath that part, not kind of riding this track over there. You know, either one kind of looks good, but let's go with what I was thinking. Okay, so let's zoom in again, and I'm going to just cut off the top part of that. And suppose if you wanted, you could just copy and paste the straight lines, duplicate this, doesn't really matter the name, and then just get rid of what you got in there, and then just draw in some curved strokes, curve them out like so. Draw another one. Head back over here and see. You can see why I decided to make that a separate shape. Definitely not the angle I'm looking for on the bevel. So let's change it so it looks more like the straight lines. And oops, there you go. You can see all we had to do is just angle it to about 133, and it's already looking a little bit better. Okay, looking pretty nice, I think. And let's come back in the next video and do something new.